guys. Oh, Bruno. That side. Ballpark. And that's how far I have to build it out. I have an idea. Trying to get it to where the gates are actually going to be functioning like actual gates. All right. It's been, a long time coming. I wanted to get a bigger gate for this. This is also going to end up being somewhat a temporary solution for right now. But I'm going to actually make it function like a normal chain link gate. First things first, though, let's get this old gate out of the way, because this thing's mangled.
So our temporary gate has lasted us since summer, and it's worked out just fine. Until the bottom got so mangled that our fat little lady likes to get out anyway. So it's not exactly serving its purpose that it had been in the past. which is why we no longer can deal with the temporary gate, and we're going to fix it to a more semi-permanent solution. Gary and I are leaving in just about 2 days, so we're trying to get our house like situated to be as easy as possible for Country Road Cure when they house sit for us while we're gone.
Yes, so it should be pretty easy. I mean, it's gonna be a little tedious, I'm not gonna lie, but it should be pretty straightforward and good to go.
Today's going to be a very busy day for us. Essentially, we have today to get our house ready for us to take off because tomorrow, bunch of rain, day after, bunch of rain, and the day after that, we're hitting the road. Yep. So today, luckily, look at that. Beautiful. Sunshine, couple of clouds. It's a gorgeous day, gorgeous morning. But yeah, we better get to it.
Yeah, we got quite a bit to do. First thing first, like I said, we got that out of the way. Now I'm going to come over here and sort of mend this guy and get this a little bit more secure than that wobble. You know? Wobble, wobble, wobble.
Wobble with it, wobble with it, wobble with it, wobble.
Yeah, I don't want it to wobble, so let's make that all nice and tight.
Gary, you don't do the wobble?
No, my hips don't work like that.
Your hips don't lie, though.
I need to go grab the T-posts. I'm going to need at least one for over here. That side, I don't think I'm going to need any. I might get another one just for that area. And this area, make it 3. Let's make it 4, just in case. Just in case. All right. Let's go
just in
grab
case.
These. I need your hand.
Just in case.
Can you grab me the T-post pounder? You know, Pops was awesome and gave us, you know, a nice gas-powered one and everything. DD5's got that over at Drifter Lane and whatnot. He's got some things going on, and he's got a lot more T-posts than I have to put in. So I let him borrow that guy.
Where might be the big horn?
I believe it's in here.
All right.
I believe. If it's not, then it might be in my garage.
Got you.
All right. Should be fairly straightforward. Should be.
That's what we always say.
I try to keep it simple, you know, but sometimes
Your complicated gets complicated.
yeah, I can't help it. My brain goes 1,000 miles an hour. Oh.
Good thing you've been going to the chiropractor.
Yes, I will tell you what. That's been helping out a lot. That's I can put my body through a lot more rigorous beating. All right, I'm gonna say, why not right about there. Do the good old Timber trick. Just ever so slightly. that tied up. This one will stay pretty much there. But I really want to make sure it does.
there her fat goes. Come on. Come on. Lady, come on, lady. Come here, lady. Oh, lady. 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 Come on, lady. Come on, lady.
We gotta come home.
How's it going, man?
Tired,
Tired?
but we're here and we got a big project ahead of us.
So if you guys didn't know, I had a trip out in Oklahoma with a good old David. Come on. All right. And we got ourselves some things at a really reasonable price that we couldn't pass up. Now we have a lot of Portland cement that we have to unload, which unfortunately Uber's not here. We the Ubers.
Uber's at the doctor. And we might end up there by the time this is over with.
I'm telling you.
Yeah. Man.
That sure is a lot of Portland you guys got there.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
This is
It's Gary's fault. He's like, I want 3.
Gary,
Well,
Gary, what did you get
know,
us into?
When I paid $24 a bag when we were building the, the basement and everything, and I seen the price on this one, and I said, all right, let me get a pallet or 2.
Or 3.
Well, Gary said 2, and then I was like, well, I might as well get one.
Yeah,
I
might
ain't build a basement, but now I can.
Yeah, might as well.
Shoot.
All right, Gary. So what's your plan with this? Where are we
We're
gonna
gonna
get
put
it?
it on the other side right there next to all the block and everything, and I'll put a pallet down and we'll be able to unload her over there. Then we can tarp it and it can sit there until we're ready.
Yeah.
Man,
And I'm actually going to leave my pallet here as well. I plan on bringing Uber over here after she gets back from the doctor to do a little road work for these guys because the storms have taken their toll on that.
Mhm.
And I'm just going to bring my forks with me and I'll load my pallet back up. But I'm going to utilize some of the extra backs to help unload all this together instead of one at a time.
Yeah, no.
Smart.
What do you guys say? You guys want to do assembly line where one person's on the trailer and then
Yep, just like watermelons. Creek, truck, creek.
do the watermelon crawl? Well, that was a dang old lot of work.
That was a lot. That was a lot of concrete, man.
Yeah, and now our backs are feeling it, but hey, it's done.
Yeah.
And we got a lot of Portland cement for the next projects coming up.
We got a lot of projects ahead of us, so.
Yeah, and that was a really good price. You couldn't pass it up.
No.
So thank you again, Mike, with MT Homestead for hooking Gary and David up with that big discount, because huge lifesaver for us. Thank you, MT. We love you guys.
Man, that was awesome. That was super awesome.
Yeah.
It was a good old day, and I'm feeling every little bit of that.
Me too. Me too.
Yep.
Well, now that we're done with unloading everything, the sounds of it is Gary and David are going to go on another adventure.
Mm-hmm.
What's going on, baby?
So he's got a Harley on the back of his trailer that does not run, and is has front brakes that are seized up and everything else that he's going to go and drop off. And yeah, that Joker was no joke.
That Joker wasn't joking.
No, it was man, it was a pain in the butt, and that thing whooped us just to get it over to the trailer. So I'm gonna give him a hand to get it off the trailer, and then next time that he loads it up, it'll be running.
All right.
That's the hopes. So I'm gonna go on an adventure, go drop that off, as well as I'm gonna see what I can find at True Value, since that's down in that town and everything like that. So we'll I'll see what I can find for the other gates and be able to get the other gates going. But that gate's looking nice.
Heck yeah. I'm happy that we got that one finished, man. This one's been like the bane to my existence for a while. They were always meant to be temporary, but temporary ended up being a little bit more long-term, which we knew kind of would happen. Yeah. But the dogs can't get out. Lady's fat booty could get out of this. But with this block here, there's nothing that she could weasel her way out of. Mm-hmm. And the other dogs can't get out of there either, so that's a win. That's a major win. Make life a lot easier for Aunt and Rox when they babysit the dogs for us.
Mm-hmm. And make our lives easier going forward.
Yeah, to and fro.
This is definitely a lot nicer.
Yes.
To get in and out and to close it.
Yep, no, I concur. Yep. So when you get back, I guess we'll get started on that gate first, and then...
Yeah, and I'm hoping that I can find the materials for that gate.
For that one right there?
The back one back there, yeah.
That we're using pallets for?
Yep.
Yeah.
If I can find the things that I'm thinking about, then that one should go pretty easy.
Okay.
We have a hill sort of working against us on that one, and I believe we're going to have it swinging inwards on that one, just because it's going to be a nightmare going back and forth that way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, we'll see how that works when we get it, but all right. Well, good luck going to the store and finding the pieces to the puzzle.
Yep.
Yep.
Should be good. Should be easy. We'll see.
Yep.
Wish me luck.
Good luck. Love you.
Love you.
All right, guys, let's go inside and let's see what I can get up going on here in this kitchen. All right, so the guys just took off, and I've got a few things that I've got to get ready here inside the house while they're gone. I'm going to start with getting ready my bucket for my water-glassed eggs, so that way while I'm gone, Anthony and Roxanne can just take all of the eggs down from Pecker Palace, drop it in the water, and they don't have to worry about it, and then I can deal with it when I get back from our trip. I've done some water glassing on the channel before, but just a refresher, the first thing that I gotta do is I gotta get my bucket full of water. If you've never water glassed eggs before, it's very simple. You're essentially going to need a big glass mason jar, or you can actually use a bucket. Yep, a bucket. You're gonna need some pickling lime. I like to get this actually just online on Amazon. It can be kind of hard to find inside like Walmart or other stores like that occasionally, and that depends on your, like, I guess, geographical location. This bag that I got, it's Mrs. Wage's pickling lime for extra crispiness, and it comes in a 1 pound bag. There are 4 quarts in 1 gallon, so this bag should make me 4 gallons of the water glassing water that you need for the eggs. So when you're doing water glassing eggs, you want to always just take your eggs straight from the nest, leave them unwashed, and after you've got the mixture ready, you just drop the eggs inside the bucket. And what that's going to do is it's going to seal it on the outside of the shell and make the shell no longer porous. And you can keep it here in this bucket for up to 2 years as long as you keep it in a coolish, kind of darkish place. I've done it many times before. That's how we did it for egg preservation for the winter. And I just recently ran out of eggs from the winter, and now I'm getting a surplus now that it's kind of like springtime. So I'm gonna get 4 gallons of water here inside my bucket, add in the pickling lime, and then my eggs will be ready to be dropped right in here, straight from the nest. And while I'm gone, Roxanne can just drop them in here and it'll make her life a whole lot easier. So let's get started with dropping in the water. All right, so now that my bucket has 4 gallons of water in it, I'm just gonna go ahead and take my pickling lime and dump it inside here, mix it all up. And that's it, friends. That's all that's needed for water glassing. So this does not work with store-bought eggs, unfortunately, because store-bought eggs have already been washed. But if you do have a flock of chickens or have access to unwashed chicken eggs, this is a great food preservation method that'll keep your eggs lasting to where you can just pull it out of here, crack it, use it for whatever dish you need without refrigeration, I believe for up to 2 years. So I've done this method, tried and true. It works every time, no rotten eggs. And it's very, very easy and convenient. No refrigeration, no nothing required. So let's place the eggs for today inside the bucket and get her where she's gonna be going. Now I got my eggs right down there in a cool, semi-dark spot. You do want to cover up the bucket. If you have a bucket lid, you want to just kind of rest it on there, but not close it tight. I'm actually going to just use a towel and put a towel over the top of it because I gotta locate one of my bucket lids and I'm not exactly sure where it is at this present time, and I got other things I gotta do. So real quickly, what we're going to go ahead and do is just drape a towel over the top of it so that way it's covered. And that's it. That's really all that there is to it. Now, Roxanne can go ahead and get the eggs from the chicken coop, drop it right in here when we're gone, and they will be waiting for me to deal with them as soon as we get back. And that's it. So do you guys remember a couple of weeks ago when I was opening up some mail, doing a mail call, and a wonderful subscriber of ours named Linda McLean had sent us a care package so that way we could make some elderberry syrup? I sure do. I didn't forget about you, Linda, and actually today I'm going to get to getting while the getting's good, and I'm going to start making that elderberry syrup. Now, full disclaimer, I have never ever used or made elderberry syrup in my life, but Gary and I do catch some of those mystery illnesses, and sometimes it can be quite often. And elderberry syrup is known for its medicinal properties. If you feel like they have a cold coming on, it's definitely a good go-to. It's kind of a staple for the old-timers. Y'all know I did try to make the honey and garlic, and although that does work, it tastes absolutely awful. So getting my family to actually use the honey and garlic Slim to none. Now, Linda, thank you so much for blessing us again with everything that we need in order to make this syrup. But for those of you guys that missed that video, let me show you guys what she sent. Linda wrote down the recipe on this really cute card, had it laminated for me so it's not ever going to get broken or lost or damaged or anything, and it won't get ruined. So thank you again, Linda. The recipe is right here for y'all if you guys want to follow along. And there is a back. She sent me everything that I need in order to get this done. Check this out. So the elderberries, I already went and took the liberty of measuring it, and for this recipe it calls for 2/3 cup of elderberries for every recipe. Now I went ahead and I measured it, and it seems like I'm going to be able to do it 6 times. So I'm going to try to use this big old stock pot and make a 6-time batch in here. But all you're going to need is the elderberries, the ground cinnamon, ground cloves, ground ginger, some raw honey, and then a cheesecloth for straining and draining. The very first thing that this says to do is to simmer all of the ingredients except for the honey together for 30 to 45 minutes uncovered. Since that's going to take us 30 to 45 minutes to let that simmer, let's get this thing simmering. So since I'm taking this recipe that's on this card and I'm multiplying it by 6, that way I could use the entire bag and possibly have some to give away to some of our friends and family, I went ahead and I put 21 cups of water in the stock pot. I've got it on high heat, and the next thing that I'm going to go ahead and add in is 2/3 cup of elderberries for every 3 1/2 cup of water. That equals out to this entire bag. So let's get this bag in there. Now, you guys were ever wondering what elderberries looked like, because I know that I was. It looks like this. Isn't that neat? The recipe card for a single batch says 1 teaspoon of cinnamon. We're going to times that by 6. So we're going to add in 6 teaspoons of cinnamon. Now the recipe is calling for 1/2 tablespoon of cloves for every 1 batch. So we're going to do 3 tablespoons of cloves for our 6th batch. Next it says to do 2 tablespoons of ginger for every 1 batch. So I'm going to do 12 tablespoons of ginger for our 6th batch. All right, now I'm just going to go ahead and mix all of this together. I do have to say, it smells very good. All that cinnamon and the elderberries in there, it's very pleasing. Very nice smelling. I bet this tastes better than that garlic and honey. Alright, well I'm going to go ahead and let the elderberry syrup simmer and do its thing. I actually kind of did a thing too. I went ahead and I started dinner. Inside the Instapot, I've got our chicken from when we had our big butcher day. So we're going to be having some chicken, some fresh veggies, and some rice tonight for dinner. While I was getting the Instapot all set up, Gary and David did come back home, and David actually is getting ready to go back to Come On Mountain. And Gary is getting started on the next gate. So let's go outside and see what the guys are doing. So this gate right here is the one that takes us inside the dog area. And although this one isn't really that big of a problem, the dogs have started to break it right here, which we have the rope around right now. But with this down, the dogs actually do jump over because it's a little bit easier. Only when they're feeling spicy, though, do they actually jump over. So this is another one of those areas that we want to make sure to keep these dogs contained from these dogs when they're hanging out here and we're gone. Right, baby? So you got this smaller gate, and we're going to go ahead and do essentially the same thing that we did over there, over here, and hopefully these dogs will stay contained while we're gone. That is certainly the hope.
Luna, come here. Hiya. Hiya. Yeah, come on it. Hiya. Hiya. Stand back away from it so you guys can jump up on it.
Babies!
Trying to stand away from it. How am I? Yep. Come on, big boy.
Heck yeah, baby. That gate is going to work out perfect.
That right there. Set this over on that side just to make sure that they don't
Try to get under it.
try to dig out from underneath it. Fixing it. Opens. Closes.
That's perfect.
And I've got this one facing this way because of these tools.
Yeah, they'll always be pushing up against it.
One more gate!
One more gate!
And as I'm looking at it, it's either gonna be too big or too small. Too big or too small. Now these aren't.
I say we go with the big one.
If the water line was not here, it wouldn't be such an issue.
But the water line is there.
The water line is right there, so.
So I went ahead and I got a few more things set up in my kitchen for tonight for dinner. I've got the veggies going on the stove. I've got the rice going. I got that chicken going from the other day. And I took my elderberry syrup off of the heat because it was boiling profusely and it needed some time to sit and rest. While it was sitting and resting, I actually took a masher and started like mashing them up a little bit. So I think it's cooled down enough for me to start working with it and work that honey in there. So what I'm going to go ahead and do now is start draining and straining it, and then I can add the honey to it and I can put it in jars. So let's go drain and strain. So I got the elderberries mashed and strained to the best of my ability. I was really working that cheesecloth, man. I was squeezing it and squeezing it. Some of the berries were falling out, but that's all right. This, again, is my very first time ever making this, and I am so excited to try it. Now, so what happened is as I was going through the recipes, I kind of noticed that I was definitely going to be shy on the honey. Now, I did have a jar of honey, and it would have been all right had I not been, you know, quadrupling or sextupling this recipe. I'm doing it 6 times what it actually says on the recipe card. So if I wasn't doing that, I think I would have had enough honey on stock. So what happened was, I remembered that I had seen some honey last time I was at S&W. I gave Doug a call over at S&W and I was like, Doug, do you happen to have any more of that honey? Because I'm going to have to go make an emergency trip to town to get some honey. Doug, S&W, man, not only do you hook us up with the lumber, but today, friends, he hooked us up with the honey. He delivered the honey right to my door. Doug was able to get the honey to me, so I am able to finish this elderberry syrup out. Now, since I am making this recipe 6 times what it actually calls for on the recipe card, I was going to need 3 of these jars in its entirety to finish this thing out. Doug zipped by and brought me 4 jars. So again, Doug, S&W, thank you so much for loving on us and for being kind enough and fast enough to get this to me so I could finish this out. You really are the best, man. Okay, so what I'm gonna go ahead and do now that I have the honey on deck, I'm gonna go ahead and empty 3 of these big jars in its entirety into this pot because that's what the recipe calls for. Mix it all in and then we'll take you on to the next step. All right, friends. Wow, we ended up with 2 quart-sized jars and 5 pint-sized jars. Now, you might be wondering why I made so much. And the thing is we are taking our trip here really soon, and I would love to be able to share some of this with our friends back home in Las Vegas and Utah, Gary's family. And I think that they're really gonna like it. I hope that it turned out good. I did take a little taste test, and let me tell you what, it is so much better tasting than the garlic and honey recipe that I tried. Although I think that the garlic and honey does have medicinal properties, everyone always tells me about elderberries, and I am very excited to try this at the very first sign of a cold or flu or any kind of sickness or ailments that our family might have. So I'm going to take these 5 jars with us on our travels. I'm going to keep this big one here for us. I'm going to give the other big one to Anthony and Roxanne so that way they can have some elderberry syrup for themselves. And I want to thank you so much again for sending this to us so I could make this today. You really blessed me, and now I can share that blessing onto others. Look at this beautiful gate, babe. I love it. It looks so good. Well, baby, it's about dinner time.
Yep.
And we're gonna get to eating, friends. I want to thank you guys so much for hanging out with us today. Gary, you rocked at getting all of those gates in.
Man, that makes life so much easier. I'm not gonna lie. So much easier.
I wish we would have done it sooner, but you know, life, busy, etc.
Well, as you saw, the gates don't really fit there that I got. And I sort of had to jimmy rig another way to make it work. So,
and these are not permanent either, because that whole fencing in that area is gonna go by the wayside at some point. We just don't know when. So it's a much better temporary solution though than what we had. That's for darn sure. Yeah. So we still have a few more things that we need to prepare to get ready for before we leave on our trip. We're also going to be taking one more trip out and helping my mama with a few things over at her house. So stay tuned for that before we head on out of here, guys. But for today and for this video, we're going to call this one a wrap. So I want to thank you so much for hanging out with us today. Until the next one, friends, we love y'all and we hope you have a good one.
I will catch you on the next one.
Bye, you guys.
Later.